Mike earlier, and they balance each other to determine what the plant's going to be. So a cytokinin dominant plant, or using a cytokinin dominant product, that's going to promote more of a leafiness in the plant. It's going to create more centers to do photosynthesis. Where our auxins, those are going to promote things like new flowers, new root tips, so the balance then between the two of those is what's going to determine the physiology of the plant. Maybe timing.
Okay.
We like something a little bit more auxin dominant in those early vegetative stages.
Okay.
To really start to set that crop. And then once we're going into division stages, maybe like at V6 when we're setting rows and columns, you can hit it with a cytokinin application. You can completely increase the number of cells in that kernel, and that would increase your density. If you do it at V6, you can actually increase your rows and columns.
Okay.
So, but auxin at that time would not have that same effect.
Okay, so something that I always think about too is when you when you apply plant hormones, if you do not have the fertility underneath it to support it, you can make that plant overdrive and almost put on too much that it can't support it. Would you agree or disagree with that?
It's so cool. And most of my career was in more academic pursuits. I went commercial probably about 12 years ago, and then we started Agmerica 7 years ago.
Okay.
A good mentor of mine passed away, and went out and started this company. And but yes, so you have to think of it like your truck.
Okay.
These hormones, they're the keys to the truck. And your nutrients and even micronutrients, that's the fuel in the tank. Now, hormones, they're going to increase the rate of development. One of the greatest time to put like a cytokinin, auxin, gibberellin package into the plant is right on that seed, because it's changing the rate of cell division, like throwing gasoline in your fire, and it's making everything burn quicker. Now, the signal is going to go away. It's not going to stay forever.
Not gonna stay there. Yeah.
But the rate that you set is going to continue for the life of that crop.
Okay.
So now you're actively transcribing your DNA and growing faster. So when you feed that now with your 17 nutrients, then it's going to perform amazing things. You'll get bigger plants. You will get some of those really big yield bumps that some of these large companies will market. Now, the problem becomes old von Liebig. So von Liebig made a barrel, and that barrel says that you're only going to grow as big as your most limiting nutrient.
Yep.
And now, if you need more nutrients, you're going to get limited by that lower barrel stay.
So it gets back to the point of balance, not only with hormones. If your nutrition levels are not balanced, or if you had yield limiting factors that you can see on a soil test, let's correct those first before you start pursuing plant hormones. Would you agree or disagree?
I would do it as it's
combined effort almost.
Combination.
Combination.
Yes.
Okay.
It is a tiered approach.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure the fields, and I mean, we talk about hormone balance because I'm always thinking about hormones, but it is your nutrient balance, your soil balance. I mean, even the carbon in the soil and the organic matter, that helps bind up and keep a lot of nutrients in the ground. And so farming is a systems approach, and you really shouldn't just ignore any one stage.
Okay.
So we not only have to balance the nutrients, balance the hormones, but we have to balance the nutrients to the hormones.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
And one of the things we have found out using the hormones is using a micronutrient mix in combination. We have seen where just putting hormones out, because they won't last in a plant 2 weeks, Rob, maybe 3 at the most.
And thank goodness, you really have to say that, because hormone, what is an unregulated hormone, or I'll say the S word, which is not a good word for the formulators, but what is a stable hormone? these are herbicides.
Yep,
the
100%.
entire class of the phenoxys are all they're stable hormones for to oversimplify that as well. So yes, the hormones and things that you're applying, they'll typically they'll have a signaling effect real quickly, and then the plants will quickly metabolize them, and then quickly they'll be deactivated or destabilized. A lot of these nutrients can direct, and even amino acids, like some now we're seeing a lot of amino acids in this general category, but these are precursors to hormones, or they support systems that make hormones. So, those you can dictate hormonal effects with nutrients by preloading them as well. I know in my field programs, I'm really heavy on calcium, boron, molybdenum.
Okay.
Calcium really helps stabilize the auxins and give you a good auxin response. So we might partner this with auxin, with tryptophan. These are
Okay.
precursor, auxin itself, and then
Yeah.
then tryptophan is a precursor to auxin, and then add that with some calcium, and that can really get a nice hormone response with very little actual auxin. The auxin is immediate. You'll see it that afternoon. The tryptophan you'll see the next day, and the calcium will kick in 2 to 3 days. Equivalently, we're big on boron. Boron's kind of cool because every hormone has an equal and active hormone deactivating system.
Okay.
I like to think of it like that old Pac-Man game
Yep.
we used to have. And there's a Pac-Man for auxin. It's called IAA oxidase.
Okay.
And boron is a really cool nutrient because it kills Pac-Man. And the plant just makes these normal levels of auxin, no problem, but Pac-Man's dead. So it builds up, and you can dictate a hormone response. A cool example might be just, go find yourself some boron salts out there, throw some on a plant, and you can actually get what appears to be a 2,4-D or a dicamba
Yes,
type
100%.
response.
Yes.
A lot of times that's just because you killed Pac-Man, and now that soybean plant's grown and it has too much auxin and it needs to rebalance it. And,
Okay.
you not only pair these hormones in the right ratios and concentrations, but you also have to do that with your foliar nutrients.
Okay. Well, and I think
Guys, if you've liked the information that you've seen so far, go ahead and check out the full-length podcast on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. It's also on all the major podcast platforms. We're constantly dropping info and more content on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Check it out for a lot more content.